Mga kaproyekto, belated Merry Christmas po. Tingnan nyo naman, talagang year-end episode namin kompleto kami for a change. So welcome. Welcome, Carlo. Welcome. And of course,
Good to be
Manolo
back.
and Leloy, sila yung nagtimon nung last episode na pinalabas natin. So for this year-end, just like any year-end shows, no? Parang we look at the best of the past year, no? So yung pinaka episode na tumanim sa aming isipan at sa aming puso nitong nakarang taon, ano? So maybe we can just start. Maybe you want to greet everybody a belated Merry Christmas first.
Wow,
Belated Merry Christmas!
belated Merry Christmas mga kaproyekto. Thank you. Thank you for celebrating
Belated
with
Merry
us this year.
Christmas.
Okay.
Ang dami nating nadaanan.
Oo nga eh. Ang daming issues, ngayon dami pa, kaya lang Pasko eh. Siguro January, talakayin na lang natin yung napakahalagang issues ng budget, ng impeachment, di ba? Yung kahulugan ng lahat ng ito na mahalaga na mapaliwanag natin, ano? Pero siguro sa ngayon nga, balikan natin for you, no, personally, what were the important, yung talaga nakatama, so to speak, ano, sa inyo?
When I meet friends, madalas ako magkwento sa kanila tungkol sa mga napag-usapan sa Proyekto Pilipino. And I noticed this year, yung pinaka naikukwento ko is yung it's a very simple factoid coming from former Assistant Secretary Nepo Malaluan from the Department of Education na sinabi niya actually, surprisingly, hindi pala nakakagulat yung ranking natin sa PISA. Kasi a lot of people nagugulat bakit ang baba natin sa PISA. Sabi ni former ASEC Nepo, it's perfectly predictable based on our GDP per capita. So kung tinignan mo yung GDP per capita, in other words, gaano kalaki yung kayamanan ng bansa divided by the population, it perfectly predicts na mababa tayo, which means kahit sinasabi nating mayaman tayo based on GDP, mahirap pa rin tayo based on a per capita level. And that episode, like, it just opened up so many thoughts for me. Unang-una, yung mayaman ng Pilipinas, pero yung pagyaman niya, hindi pa rin enough to satisfy yung individual needs ng kada Pilipino. Kaya nga, GDP per capita, di ba? Pangalawa, I must admit there is a kind of source of comfort there na hindi naman pala ganun kapalpak yung mga institutions natin na siguro, sabi nga niya, may konti pang overperformance yung institutions natin eh. So, which tells me na, if we get the economic equality picture right, kaya talaga natin ma-overcome a lot of our problems as a society, including na itong education. So, lagi ko napapag-usapan yung episode na yun.
Okay. Thank you, Leloy. So, Manolo, go ahead.
Sa akin naman, I think maganda yung punto ni Lelo, yung ano ba yung tumatawid sa mga kakilala natin pagdating sa mga topics natin. Sa akin, ang naienkwentro ko palagi, and this has happened several times, sa abroad, sa mga Pinoy abroad at dito, yung impact ng mga episodes natin tungkol sa pagkain at sa kalusugan, sa nutrition, in a very interesting way. Like there was one retired ambassador na ang kwento niya sa akin. Alam mo, dati bilang pamilya, pag may konting naipon sila, talagang nagbubukod sila ng bahagi ng savings nila para ibigay para sa ibang tao. And palagi nagkakaproblema sila kung saan ba dapat ilagay, kung saan makakatulong sa marami. And then they said, because of our episodes on stunting and related topics, it suddenly became very clear to them. Number one, kung saan nila pwedeng dalin yung konting may bibigay nila in a very direct and effective way. And kung saan pwede rin sila makiusap sa mga ibang tao na doon na rin itawid yung mga gusto nilang bigay na tulong sa iba. So, I thought that was really remarkable because there was a feeling na sa dami ng problema natin at sa parang palaging sinasabi ng mga tao na ang daming kulang sa ating lipunan, it became very clear to them where they could help. Everyone could find a place to help. Kasi, alam mo, and I found that very, very rewarding. But the other thing was yung one of the most recent episodes namin ni Leloy, kung saan yung pinag-usapan namin yung public transportation.
Yeah.
And in fact, Leloy, even apologized to our viewers na parang napaka-basic nito at ngayon pa lang natin tinalakay ito. But it was very, very
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm very sobrang unfortunate na miss ko yun kasi if that was one episode I really want to join, it was that episode because this is something that I've always felt. And then this someone who's lived abroad, and when you go back to the Philippines, the first thing you notice is the chaos in our streets. And ito lagi namin napag-usapan ng tatay ko kasi yung tatay ko as a diplomat tumira sa lalabas tapos every time he comes back here, lagi niya sinasabi sa akin, Carlo, alam mo, ang sakit sa loob ko yung hindi lang yung sa pagod sa traffic pero every time nasa kalsada ako, doon ko nakikita lahat ng problema ng Pilipinas. Parang nagmamaterialize sa ano ko, not just the traffic itself but yung lack of proper planning, yung kulang sa empathy ng leaders natin. So talagang hindi natin pwedeng masabi na maliit na bagay eh. Napakaliit ng bagay niya. And ito hindi ko masyadong kaya medyo na ano ako Manolo kasi I remember the last administration, sobrang galit na galit ako. Kasi merong isang stunt, yung isang cabinet, na hindi na natin sasabihin, pero ako lang, very affected ako no. Kasi there was one stunt that a cabinet member pulled when he, parang to show them that public transportation is not that hard. He took public transportation from his house to Malacanang, and there was a big fanfare in the media. And then galit na galit ako hindi lang doon sa cabinet secretary, pati din the way media handled it. Kasi parang tinrealize natin yung paghihirap ng nararanasan ng araw-araw ng Pilipino. Kasi after that nung stunt na yun, walang follow-up. Walang intelligent questions to. So anong sa experience na to, anong pwede nating what can we take from this experience? So what it was just a publicity stunt, and galit na galit ako kasi nakita natin na tinitrivialize natin yung hirap ng mamamayan, and this is what they have to go through every day. And if the leaders of our government can trivialize something that important to us, ano nang mangyayari sa atin? But anyway, maganda yung episode na yun. Dami ko rin natutunan, so that's has to be one of my favorites as well.
Yeah. Siguro, Carlo, if I can just add to what you said, no, binaboy yung issue.
Yeah.
Diba? I think trivialize is a very kind word.
It's the holidays.
It's the holidays. Pero
Nakapula pa
binaboy.
naman kayo, Fads.
Nakapula pa ako.
Merry pa naman yung pula nyo,
But that's
Fads.
to represent Christmas, not the revolutionary spirit. Pero ako yung gusto ko, number one is the stunting. And of course, number two are the education issues. And then number three, yung agriculture. No? Kasi these are things that are very, very close to my heart now because of Caritas. These are the things we're trying to focus on. No? Of course, pero nung nag-uusap ka, Carlo, yung sa traffic, di ba? Yun din yung isa sa mga napaka-trivialized gimmick nung nakarang administration. Remember, he promised to solve it and then 60 days ba yun? You remember that? Di ba? May pangako.
Yung EDSA
Yeah,
would be
yeah.
traversed in 5 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, and then, di ba, yung we will clean up the streets sa simula, di ba, nagawa, di ba, walang magpa-park sa kalye, etc., di ba, parang naging campaign promise na loko.
Pero maraming naniwala, Fads, sa tingin ko.
Maraming naniwala, definitely, no? Maraming naniwala. So, kasi ako, alam mo yung sa akin, ang sana ito pa yung mapalakas natin this coming year, yung bunga ng mga episodes. Kasi we have several episodes that really, kagaya nung nakwento ni Manolo, it gave people an insight of where to give their time, their volunteer work, their resources, di ba? May mga ganon eh. And even up to now, nakakatuwa kasi just last week, someone messaged me and said, magkakaroon pa ba kayo ulit ng pagbagsak ng mga gulay? Kasi there's a group that contacted me to contact daw us kasi they're willing to help kung mangyari ulit yun. I think yun, sa akin, aside from the topics, I think this will be the process that would be the result of our discussions. So maganda.
Tsaka, Fads, masabi ko lang, they don't need to go through us. Of course, it'd be nice kung kausapin din tayo. Pero sometimes if they go direct to our guests,
Yes,
okay
yes.
lang yun, di ba? So like last week, for example, si Manolo invited Rob C. to talk about yung mga avenues for engagement. Binigyan niya yung viewers ng Facebook groups, ng
Okay, okay.
ng other organizations that they may want to engage with. And ito naman yung pag sinasabi natin whole country approach. It's
Yeah.
very easy to say nga whole country approach, everybody's involved. Pero may subsidiary question yun. The entire country is divided into people with different interests, different means, of course. And so in a whole country approach, there's always the individual of question of what's my role in that whole country approach. And actually,
Mhm.
mahirap yung sagot na yun eh. And
Yeah.
Proyekto Pilipino has always been an avenue, I think, for us to lay down parang these opportunities, or maybe not opportunities, maybe a better word is invitations. Invitations
Yeah.
for people to engage issues, or maybe engage individuals whom they feel are really change makers in our society. And hopefully, change makers naman yung nag-guest na. And I'm very confident
Yeah,
that
yeah.
we
I think
hosted a couple of change makers this year.
Laloy, ang ganda nung ano na yun, kasi we have to keep in mind in sa proyekto natin, participation doesn't have to be some grand action of activism or political gesture. Yung maliliit na bagay na just to be involved, that's doing your part na rin eh. And then which reminds me, because I haven't told my favorite episode, so I'm not exactly sure if this fits within this year, but ito paborito ko kasi ito yung episode na we invited the two young debaters
yeah,
that we
yeah,
had
yeah.
from Ateneo.
Ano na
And
yun? 2023 pa ata yun,
23
Carl.
ba yun? Ay, sorry. I can't seem to forget that episode kasi ang dami kong natutunan dun sa dalawang debaters na yun. And more than that, when I was listening to them, I was so uplifted na wow, this is how discussion should be made. This is how this is how intelligent discussions should be handled. And I'm learning from someone much younger than me, and I was so willing to listen to them. And actually, Fads, kaya ako naalala yun kasi actually itong Proyekto Pilipino na to, if you remember, before it became Proyekto Filipino, we wanted we wanted a face to promote uh intelligent discussions like that. And ito sasabihin ko, I'm not sure kung nakwento na namin kay Leloy ito, pero I'm sure alam ni Leloy. Pinupush namin si Leloy dati ever since na nakita namin magaling magsalita. He represents the youth.
Manolo, hindi na tayo youth, Manolo.
Hindi na,
Manolo.
matagal na kayo. Hindi.
Pag 40 na, which is what happened to me this year, mahirap na.
But naalala mo, Fads,
Yeah,
we were asking Leloy to front for us. And Leloy told us, I'm sorry, I'd rather focus on studying and teaching.
yeah. And if
And
I'm not mistaken, I even had dinner with Lelo in ABS.
we did. And we were
Yeah.
really pushing him. We're saying, we'll give you
Pumula na ako this year.
what do you need to do? But only reason why I'm bringing this up, Leloy, is because nakikita ko yung dalawang debaters na yon. And there's hidden gems in our society. People like them who don't crave for the spotlight, but if you can engage people like them and you give them the spotlight, I think public discussions will be so much the better for it. And lalo na we keep talking about yung age of social media, Manola, na kung sino-sino na lang yung anong content. And I can't seem to imagine if I had the resources, I would shine a spotlight on those two individuals.
Maybe ako comment lang, Manolo, before you come in. No?
Manolo, you're on
Lumalabas
mute
yung-
also.
Lumalabas yung mga yung mga advocacy ng bawat isa sa atin about personality. Like Carlo, that was his advocacy ever since. And remember, Leloy, when we were looking for a title, ikaw ang nag-propose ng proyekto, di ba? And it was really the project of nation building. That was your entire point. Ano? And of course, si Manolo, for us, ang ating mindset, Manolo was always the explainer, di ba? He was always the explainer. Ako naman, ang role ko, I'm the networker. I bring people together. So it's just interesting na, for me, I think looking back, it's the entire process that we're all putting into this Proyekto Pilipino. Manolo, go ahead, please. I just wanted to make
And because fans, gusto ko rin idagdag kabit doon sa sinabi niyo at sinabi rin ni Carlo, yung we have to thank our audience because yung this was an act of faith itong show natin na hindi lang interesting yung pag-uusapan natin, hindi rin tayo magkukulang sa mga interesting na tao, kundi hindi tayo magkukulang sa audience na magiging interesado sa pinag-uusapan natin.
Mm.
And I think that was the big leap of faith na handa na ang publiko na hindi lang makisubaybay kundi makibahagi sa mga pinag-uusapan natin. No, in the recent American elections, naging napakalaki ng role ng isang American podcaster, si Seth Rogen.
Joe
And
Rogan.
Joe
Joe
Rogan.
Rogan.
And ang pinag-uusapan nila was yung mga podcast na yun, mga 1 oras, 2 oras, 3 oras, ang haba ng mga. Tapos nag-uusap lang sila ng mga guests. And sabi nila that went against all the previous
Yes.
rules of
Yes.
communications, di ba? But yung pala, there's this hunger among many people na talagang himayin ng mga issue. Siyempre, hindi rin natin alam kung saan nadadala yung sapin. But that's the fact na meron palang mga gustong gumawa ng deep dive sa mga topic. And I think that ayoko naman iangat ang sariling bangko natin, but I think we have to thank our audience na pag sinasabi natin, alam mo itong topic na ito, kailangan natin ng 1, 2, 3, 4, alam mo, na episodes, game sila, and it shows that it really is a public service that can work.
Yung nga Manolo, binalik-balikan kasi nga one of the things na ginawa for us, and I just wanted to acknowledge yung producer natin, si Marisa, who's just done such a great job this year.
Yes.
Alam ni Marisa kung ano yung mga pinakasikat na episodes natin because that's a way of conversing with the audience, also return guests. At sabi niya na ang dalawa sa mga pinakasikat na guests natin ay si Dr. Kim na isang nutritionist at saka si Harold
Harold, yeah.
who works with agriculture. And just on the theme of conversation, I was very surprised na ang dami nilang napag-usapan silang dalawa. These are two people who work on the stunting problem from very different angles. Pero nung
Yes.
nag-usap sila, talagang ano yun parang may fireworks yun.
Magic.
Magic talaga eh. And sa academic world, we say interdisciplinarity all the time. Nobody really understands it. Nobody knows what it is. But basically, it's like iba-iba yung lente natin at pag tinignan natin yung problema using different lenses, may magic na nangyayari at naipakita natin yun nung binalik natin yung ating mga star guests. And speaking of Proyekto Pilipino, sa Ampang Show, yun ang pagbubuhat ng sariling bangko, nag-uusap ang isang Dr. Kim at saka isang Harold Lu.
Yeah.
It's very rare and it's very special when you see it happen. And I don't know kung anong feeling nyo nung nag-usap sila. Parang sabi ko, atras na ako dito. Ayaw ko
That's how I feel very often, talagang timon ka lang na hello, goodbye, diba? And then let everybody take over. And for me, that's the best success of the show.
Yeah.
For me. Diba?
Leloy, to add to that, just to show you sometimes, hindi lang pwede, minsan yung usap-usap lang, kailangan may konting push pa. Kasi, though I know you know the story, how we got Harold on the show, but si Harold kasi was introduced to me through a common friend who watches our show as well. And out of the blue, he just messaged me, Carlo, I want you to, do you have time to meet a certain individual who's in the agricultural sector? Parang parehas yung mga perspectives nyo sa industry. Would you like to meet him? Sabi ko, sure, why not? So, nag-meet kami. Both of us went out of our way. Nag-meet kami sa Makati, nagkape kami. That one coffee eventually turned into a couple of meetings, and then I brought him on Proyekto. But that's my point here is sometimes you just have to take that extra step, especially lalo na sa Manila, alam natin yung traffic problem. Medyo sometimes gusto mo sa bahay ka na lang lagi. But that's how you make the project work sometimes. Hindi mo kayang gawin yan lahat. So sometimes you have to reach out to people who have more experience than you. And in this case, it just so happened that Harold has so much more experience than me, and I learned so much from him. And then I thought, hey, this guy would be a great guest on Proyekto.
Ako talagang, that agri topic is Ako, basta ako, agri, stunting, those are the things I'd like to pursue, And then education, of course. Lalo, alam mo, I'll just go back to yung episode natin kay Yusek Malaluan. Kasi I think that's that is part of the problem, no? People tend to shoot from the hip, no? And I just hope nga na yung proyekto and will help people realize na dapat natin pag-usapan eh. Dapat natin buuin yung mga ano ba ang datos, 'di ba? At ano yung pagpapalalim ng usapan. And I think hopefully ang nagagawa din natin is we're able to let people know that it's not a purely academic thing, to be able to deal with data and to deepen the conversation, 'di ba? Na pwede siya 'di ba nga? 'Di ba nga yung pangarap namin ni Carlo, yung aming framework ni Carlo together with with Verhel, parang usapang barberya.
Pero yun nga, Vance, usapang barberya din nga, kwentong barbero is
Oo,
not,
oo,
we shouldn't
oo.
look down on kwentong barbero.
Yeah, because that's
Uh,
when people form their opinions, 'di ba? Na ano.
Tsaka
So,
ano ba, what is a better, what is more fundamental than feeding ourselves? Paano ba natin pinapakain ng sarili, paano nagpapakain ng ibang tao? Kaya nga, yun nga, babalikan ko yung episode si Dr. Kim. I understand bakit ang laki ng demand ng audience natin for Dr. Kim kasi I would like to think na ang audience natin they give care. They like to give care to their family and to their fellow Filipinos, and it's very good to just ask a nutritionist yung pag alaga ko sa pamilya ko using food, akma ba yun dun sa nutritional needs nila? And
correct.
I think that very basic idea of care is what attracted many of our viewers to Dr. Kim, apart from obviously magaling, very articulate, one of the leading researchers ng University of the Philippines.
Looking forward naman, what do we want to see, no? What do we want to see? What do we hope to parang improve on, no, in the coming
Vance,
year?
dito ako nagtataka. Ano ba ang gusto ng mga, and sana padala nyo sa amin ang inyong mga opinion dito. Gusto ba ninyo na sabayan natin ang mga kaganapan sa balita? O gusto ba ninyo na iwasan natin ang mga headline at talagang tutukan ang mga issue na kahit paano walang laban na makakuha ng headline space? Doon ako palagi nagtataka because there's a case to be made na dapat tapatan natin ang balita para dagdagan natin ng konteksto ang mga kaganapan. On the other hand, yung mga ibang tao, nagiging allergic na nga sa balita tapos dadagdagan mo pa. So, mas lalong baka maging allergic pa sa atin. So, sana padalin nyo kami ng inyong pananaw tungkol sa topic na ito.
Nag-feature na rin tayo ng a couple of guests na medyo ang podcast nila, kasi may mga podcast din sila, ay mas current events. So, of course, si Christian Esguerra ay naging guest, si Richard Dedar ay naging guest. Ito, ang mga podcast nila, parang headline kumbaga, 'di ba? So para sa akin, it's good na may mga ganong klaseng podcast, and it's good to have them here, pero I found it very liberating yung Proyekto Pilipino. Kasi una sinabi natin non-partisan, I thought I would have to bite my tongue all the time. Pero actually may gift yung pagiging non-partisan kasi
Yeah.
kung non-partisan ka, titignan mo yung mga issue na nagbubuklod sa mga Pilipino. At issue na hindi nawawala, kagaya nga nitong stunting, di ba? Paano mo pakukulayan yan? O yung education, di ba? Nagbubuklod tayo dyan. And then of course, hindi siya kasing daling i-headline. Pero lagi siyang nandyan at lagi may intervention na pwedeng gawin dito sa mga issue na ito. But of course, you tell us, our audience, if you
Yeah,
want
yeah.
But
you
I,
hear. Oh.
I think that's the beauty of the show that we have. Hindi tayo constrained with what's current, and we can afford to go as far back as we want to, look further than we should. And this, once again, I'm going beyond yung last year, no? Kasi naalala ko may isang comment dun in a YouTube channel, and I remember our producer showed it to us. It was that episode where kakatapos sila nung election, and I remember that episode really well. Parang ano yun Move On na ba yung title yata nung episode. And someone commented on that episode, like the person said, the last 20 minutes of that show has got to be the most thought-provoking stuffs I've heard from Proyekto Pilipino. And that portion that he was talking about, kasi naalala ko yung after nung election, napaka tense nung election, to say the least, no? Napaka tense talaga, and everyone felt so strong. A lot of people had a hard time moving on, and I think that show, even after that show, kasi gabay yun nung tinip natin yun, nakatulog ako ng mahimbing kasi parang may cathartic experience ako. And then let me just relay what happened, no? Manolo started it with a question. and I think the question was, traidor ka ba sa prinsipyo mo if you wish the opposing uh, party well? And then we gave our answers, we went through it. And then, ang ganda nito kasi, ang nagtanong ng kwento, ang nagtanong si Manolo, pero sinagot din niya. Kasi ako, when my turn came, I was telling him, Manolo, napakahirap sagutin yan. So I cited yung panahon ng revolution, yung personalities yung time na yon na they opted to work with the American regime. So was that traitorous of them? But what if what they had wanted for the Philippines was exactly what was being brought in the new regime? Tapos sinagot ni Manolo yung tanong niya. Sinabi niya, Carlo, ang magandang sagot diyan. Tingnan natin anong ginawa ni Mabini. Manolo, ikaw na. Can you please say it again?
But sabi ni Mabini, yung kahit anong mangyari, meron nang nagising sa pananaw ng bawat Pilipino, at kahit anong gawin mo, na hindi mo na may babalik ang dati. And he said that what had awakened was a sense of common purpose and a sense of community, of nationhood. And sabi niya, kahit anong mangyari, the question in his case was of independence, would never go away and would be a matter of time before it was achieved.
Yeah. And then I think the thing also you said was, before he swore allegiance, he wanted to go back to the
Oo,
Philippines
kung anong
first.
sentimiento ng tao. Oo.
Tao. Ayun yung kailangan sundin ng lahat. And I think that resonated with a lot of people. One, because how can you wish ill, 'di ba, Leloy? Even though hindi kayo sang-ayon dun sa nakaupo ngayon, I mean, what kind of a person are you if you wish an economic collapse, 'di ba?
Yeah.
And then and that's the reason why I brought it up, kasi we have, our show has the luxury to go back and then make this is when we start asking, ano bang relevance ng kasaysayan? Things like this sometimes, when the present just can't give you an understanding of what's happening, it just maybe sometimes history can give you a deeper appreciation of what's happening right now. So and for that, I think this show.
Konteksto naman lagi, 'di ba? Sometimes kasi yung emotions natin or yung knee-jerk ideas natin, walang konteksto, parang feel natin unique. And that's just the purpose of the historian, to show na hindi to unique. You can compare this. And actually, I hate when people say you're comparing apples and oranges, because I can actually compare apples and oranges. I prefer apples. So I just did, you know. Sometimes it's yung terms of comparison. The comparison will never be exact, pero if you can find the right terms of comparison, then yun yung nakakatulong sa'yo.
I somehow wish lang more and more we're able to spur little pockets of movements, no? And I think kagaya ng kinukwento ni Manolo, na ako yung lagi yung gauge ko na natutuwa ako pag magsasabi sa atin, dahil dito yung ginagawa namin, ganun. And di ba yun naman ang ating it's to get everybody on board as kaproyekto nga, di ba? The project of nation building, no? So, yun, I'm hoping meron tayong more episodes na gano'n. And I think tama yung sabi ni Manolo, sabihin nyo sa amin kung ano ang gusto ninyong marinig at pag-usapan. More than marinig, siguro yung gusto mapag-usapan. Ano? Kasi nga, I think, again, I think we're able to influence certain people by what they hear from us or what they watch sa atin. Ano? Ako nakita ko yun. May ibang mga tao na nagkwento sa akin how it has changed their view and how they're acting in a way na medyo na-influence ng talakayan natin. Ano? So, I think that's one of my dreams for the show, na lumawak pa yon, lumawak yung yung influence. Sabi nga ni Manolo, 'di ba, ang aming ni Manolo, ewan ko sa inyo, ang aming fan base mga seniors.
Ewan ko sa inyo, ako na-vote na ako as the best host ng
ng
students organization. So,
tapos naman,
Para hero ka, Carlo.
Ngayon lang naman, Leloy, dahil sa pagpuri sa ni Carlo, nung kinukwento niya yung ikaw yung inaahay namin, naalala ko parang ngayon, parang yung si Dingdong Dantes at si si Jake Ejercito, yun si Leloy 10 years ago nung nag-uusap tayo, Carlo.
Well, speaking of Ding Dong Fads,
That was a good episode. Yeah.
it was very nice to have Ding Dong. Pinaunlakan tayo ni Ding Dong na mag-guest sa show at binakita sa atin kung ano ba talaga kung anong pwedeng ibahagi ng isang artista sa Pilipino. At sometimes it's really nice to see itong mga successful people like Ding Dong who've been on the top of their game for decades. They don't sit on their laurels, di ba? Kasi kung ikaw si Ding Dong, pwede na masabihin mo, okay yung career ko, hanggang dito na lang ako. Pero hindi, nag-oorganisa siya
Yeah.
doon sa kanya,
Correct.
doon sa kanyang industriya. At ito yung sinasabi ko yung whole nation approach, kailangan alam mo kung ano yung role mo within that whole nation approach. Ding Dong is a very clear example of that. Alam niyang artista siya, inayakap niya na artista siya at tinatanong niya bilang isang artista, ano
Artista,
yung pwede
yun.
gawin. Kasi hindi naman natin kayang gawin lahat pero within our small niches, ang daming pwedeng gawin.
Manolo, nung kinento lang ni Carlo yung isang episode natin. Isa ding episode na naisip ko. Tandaan mo nung pinagsama namin ikaw, si Julia at si Ato Salud.
One of our
About
first
government.
one of our first
About
episodes.
government, no? Kasi palagi ko yung ganung klaseng usapan, maganda ulit balikan. Lalo na ngayon, ano?
Friend Fads. Yeah.
Kasi ito, hindi ko lang alam if you're struggling with this. Ito, napag-usapan natin to Leloy, I think in quotation mark, as an aside, yung how polarized we were after the elections and how I realize kasi I've been invited to several meetings about the impeachment, now about the budget, di ba? And then you realize how unstrategic, I don't know if that's the right term, no? Yung galaw ng mga grupo ngayon. It's almost like, I'm sure some people might bash me for this, no? It's almost like, nagkaroon ng time warp. So when you listen to them, it's like we're back in the 80s or back in the...
May dalawang bahagi yun, Fads. May time warp na mga parang you're going over the same old ground and the same methods. And merong bagong component na they were so traumatized by yung first effort nila na ayaw man lang nilang pag-isipan or hindi pa sila maka-move on. So alam mo, at talagang problema yun. So yung hinanakit nila mula sa huling labanan, meron na ng bagong eleksyon, yung pa rin ang dinadamdam nila. And I think both are a sign of merong kulang talaga. And I think it's that sense of common purpose.
Do you feel the same way, Leloy and Carlo? Ako kasi, I'm worried. Actually, to be honest, I'm worried. No? For example, dalawa na yung lumapit sa, can you sign the petition to the impeachment? Can you sign this? Ganun na. I'm just worried. I think you framed it very well, Manolo. No? I guess that's part of my worry. No? Tama, very, very clear yung pagkapaliwanag mo. So, how about Lelo and Carlo?
Non-partisan tayo, di ba, Fads?
Non-partisan tayo. We're just trying to bring reality into
On the one hand, Fads, grabe tong year na to, no? And we did really run this show as if yung mga bangayan sa Quadcom, sa Senado, we ran the show as if hindi nangyayari yung mga bagay na yun. And of course, there are advantages and detriments to that. Kasi nga, amid napakainit na news cycle, ang daling makalimutan ng fundamentals. Yung fundamentals sa maraming Pilipinong gutom. Maraming Pilipinong hindi nakatanggap ng tamang edukasyon. In a way, actually, it's kind of perverse to talk about political squabbles when people are hungry, di ba? Parang and in a way binabalik natin dun sa fundamentals. So in that sense, parang I'm my worry is the fact na everyday political squabbles distract from yung mga fundamental issues. On the other hand, kailangan ng resolusyon talaga yung maraming mga issue na nangyari dun sa nakarang administrasyon, hindi natin pwedeng talikuran, kaya grapple with it as a society. And so those are my feelings coming into 2025. Kasi Fads, yung init na nakikita natin sa headlines ngayon, I don't know about Manolo, Carlo, Fads, sa tingin ko mas lalo pang iinit sa susunod na taon. Kung gaano
Oo.
kaanghang itong mga issue na to, yung mga, kung may mga mura kang narinig sa news this year, mas maraming murahan mangyayari next year.
Yeah. Pero yun, kaya ba, question ko din sa'yo to everybody, ang worry ko is makalimutan yung eleksyon.
Oo nga po, no?
You know what I'm saying? Ang worry ko makalimutan yung eleksyon eh. In terms of
We
how
started
do
as an election education podcast nga pala.
Ganun
Hindi.
ba?
Sa ibang pananaw ko, Fads, I think magiging um, parang mitya yung election because ang ibang naiinip, let's put it that way, ay dahil nainip sila kasi yung pala election ang pinag-iusapan or pinag-iisipan ng mga iba. Yung iba naman, election lang gusto nilang pag-usapan at ang ibang miyembro naman ng publiko sa tingin nila aksya ng panahon kasi wala namang magbabago. So sa akin, ang nawawala dito, we are non-partisan and to the extent na sa tingin ko, bawat panig, kung paano mong hatiin ang iba't ibang mga panig ng politika, lahat sila may problema.
Mhm.
Parang walang gustong gumalaw sa kahit anong hanay. Yun
Okay.
ang problema.
Okay.
Bakit ayaw nilang magtulungan, Manolo? Dahil ba sobrang galit na ang mga tao sa isa't isa because polarized na yung society?
Well, nandun ang galit at pagkukulang ng tiwala ng mga kababayan natin sa isa't isa. But sa aking pananaw, nag-iba na ang parang ihip ng panahon eh. In a sense, bumalik na tayo sa dating kaugalian natin na hinihintay na lang natin gumalaw ang mga nasa itaas.
Mhm.
At sila na ang mag-aaway at susunod na lang tayo. It's very different from what we were all used to over the past 30, 40, even 50 years. We're
Mhm.
back to a much earlier point of view. Kaya at the same time, wala yung alternatibo dito, yung dating nasanayan natin na mag-oorganisa, magkakaroon ng kilusan, magkakaroon ng mobilization, ng protesta,
Oo.
parang naging sinaunang ugali na rin.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so neither are able to get people to actually move. Parang passive
Mhm.
lahat. Um, I mean, you can have a very popular leader, but yung pala, yung popularidad, hanggang sa pagpalakpak lang dun sa leader na yun. Kaya lang, siya nang bahala.
Oo.
Di ba?
Oo.
Kasi
Oo.
yun ang pundasyon ng kanyang kapangyarihan na siya ang gagawa eh. Eh kung hindi niya kayang gawin, wala. At yung iba naman, nagsanay na gumalaw, um, gumawa ng koalisyon, pakunti ng pakunti ang mga naniniwala sa kahalagaan ng koalisyon. And so, that's what I feel.
Naalala ko
Kasi,
Manolo, to that point, sabi mo, kasi nagkaroon din tayo ng episode pagkatapos ma-inaugurate ni President BBM. Sinabi mo rin sa ANC nung inanalyze mo yung talumpati niya. Sabi mo, hindi naman siya talumpati ng isang diktador kagaya ng tatay niya. Maganda nga yung talumpati, maganda yung pagkasulat, maganda yung pagkakabikas, but you said there's one scary thing about it na parang ang tema niya is, pwede na kayong mag-relax ngayon. Ako na yung bahala. Ganun. At ako rin naman, nagustuhan ko, okay naman yung speech niya, pero nakakatakot yun. So I think it's also a challenge for our politicians to have a language. Kasi on the one hand, naiintindihan ko yung presidente, sinasabi niya, accountable ako sa inyo. Kung may
Mhm.
pangako ako, paninindigan ko ito. Hindi ko sasabihin na kayo yung magtrabaho. I will make sure na sulit yung boto nyo, magtatrabaho ko. I think there should be a way to balance that out by saying like, binoto nyo ako, gagawin ko yung trabaho, pero syempre, ano tayo daw, may partnership tayo dito. It doesn't need to return to yung line na kayo ang boss ko. It doesn't need to be that. It can be reinvented. Pero there should be a new way of political. There should be new political discourse in this country that kind of marries those two impulses. susulitin ko yung boto nyo sa akin, pero tutulungan nyo ako. I don't know how to do that. I'm not,
Yeah.
Pero
baka si Manolo is the speechwriter here.
pero
Alam mo,
Leloy,
nakakatawa dito, hindi natin mabanggit yung mga pangalan, pero lahat naiisip natin kung sino yung pinag-uusapan natin, di ba?
pero ano, Leloy, nag-resonate yung feeling ko yung ganong thinking kasi everyone's just too busy living, trying to eke out a living. And that's something that nung bumalik ako sa corporate world, I'm just too busy. Minsan magagulat ka lang kasi hindi na ako nakakatutok minsan sa current yung mga balita eh. Ang bilis ng ano eh, ang bilis ng changes kasi gigising ka, magluluto ka, tatrabaho ka, maglalaba ka, ang dami mong ginagawa tapos sometimes you have to understand our leaders and those in the media especially and in politics, sometimes people are just not aware of these issues.
Carlo, alam mo, I've been thinking about that point for a long time. Dahil, when were people not ever busy? I think people have always been busy and maliit lang ang porsyento na talagang may sapat na panahon at kakayahan na talagang subaybayan ng gusto ang politika eh. Ang pagkakaiba sa aking pananaw ay lumiit ang espasyo para sa politika bilang entertainment. The essential element of our politics is showmanship. And it was always showmanship because it filled that void. Alam mo, what made me realize this was yung mga kampanya in the 1920s up to the 1950s na ang kampanya, doon pala nagsimula ang balagtasan. Alam mo, it started in the 20s and the 30s and up to the 1950s. I mean, yung sila Macapagal rose up, they would have poetry contests, doon sila nangangampanya. But pag-iisipan mo, that's because yun ang type ng entertainment ng panahon na yun. Wala namang mass media to the extent we have it today. Which is why today, ang problema ng mga nangangampanya, humahanap sila ng lugar ng entertainment kung saan pwede isiksik ang sarili dahil wala nang pumupunta sa plaza para manood at makinig sa talumpati. But the space in the consciousness, I think, of most people for politics was never that big. Alam mo, it got magnified kasi tayo mga writers, tayo mga scholars, tayo mga media people, syempre love natin ang sarili nating gawain. And yun talagang ang laki sa pinapalaki natin more than it ever was.
Pero Manolo, hinahanap pa rin natin yung ganong klaseng talumpati sa plaza, no? Pero
I
hinahanap
don't
natin
think so.
different ways.
I don't think so. That's why speech writing is dead. Alam mo, hindi na makalaban ang speech writing for the soundbite and for the 30 sec. Alam mo,
Hindi yun yung sinasabi ko, hinahanap pa rin natin, may kiliti pa rin tayo pag nagkakaroon ng moment na yung politiko is maanghang, nakakatawa, entertaining.
yes.
Siguro
Because
yan
showmanship pa rin.
Yung
Showmanship pa rin.
Yung Shimenat meme of 2024, di ba, na talagang kumalat.
Yes. I mean, but yun, yung kung saan yung oportunidad para makuha mo yung kiliti ng tao, I think has shrunk a lot.
Yeah.
And people get more and more desperate to try to find it.
Yeah. And Manolo, related to that, kasi di ba ito big ano to eh. The last few days, ang daming, well, because of groups I work with, yung the fact na pumasok sa top 12, tatlong na exposure sa radyo at TV, di ba? Without mentioning names, di ba? So, is that part of that psyche na ito na yung pumalit sa balagtasan ng araw?
Matagal na, Fads, but ang kakabit sa obserbasyon na yon, you notice they are of a certain age.
Yes.
Ang mga personalidad na ito naging sikat in that moment of time kung saan talaga napakalawak ng reach ng radyo at telebisyon na ngayon lumiliit. And the question is, can anyone duplicate that in the future? You notice kahit yung mga artista na talagang pabalik ng pabalik sa politika, panahon na may takilya pa. And now the majority of our countrymen cannot afford a movie ticket. It's already a middle class elite activity. Kaya until someone does it on Netflix, then pwede ka na naman, alam mo, kasi kahit alam mo, it's even affordable on your phone already. But friends, alam mo, it's these frozen moments in time na it used to be the same way na yung mga dating nasa AM, palubog na ang AM, but there was that moment in time na pwede kang maging sikat na sikat sa AM na hindi na mauulit muli.
Oo nga, no, kahit ngayong mga star natin, marami sa kanila galing pa rin sa old days ng Star Cinema, 'di ba? Sana
Yes,
tayo kumuha ng
exactly.
mga artista ngayon, 'di ba? Kung sabihin natin kahit our biggest A-list now na nabanggit na natin sa show, sina Ding Dong, sina Piolo. Hindi naman natin sinasabing matanda na sila, pero matagal na sila nandyan at na-develop nila yung
Yeah.
following nila in a different media ecosystem. So saan tayo kukuha ng mga kasing galing ni na Ding Dong in the future? It's an urgent concern for politics, but it's also an urgent concern for entertainment because yung type ni Ding Dong, ayaw nating mawala kasabay ni Ding Dong. Dapat mabuhay yung ganong klaseng tradisyon.
Yeah.
There was a director who was hindi ko na matandaan bigla yung pangalan niya. I'm having a senior moment. But he was saying the other day, sabi niya, isipin niyo ang presyo ng movie ticket ngayon. You have to be kind of well off to afford a movie ticket in the mall. Kahit ako nagulat ako, nagisip ako, because lahat tayo, nasanay na tayo sa pag-stream eh. And it's true, yung pwede ka lang, kung may allowance ka, pwede ka pa rin manood ng sine. Wala nang ganon ngayon. And that means the ability to create and even on TV, yung free TV is shrinking. So but yung streaming becomes very, very targeted to particular subgroups na who are very passionate and very, very, alam mo, very good marketing. But on the other hand, yung pinag-uusapan natin na Proyekto Pilipino, yun paliit na rin yung nagiging paraan para lahat tayo masasabi natin na we share a common experience.
Yeah.
Talagang palit na palit ang oportunidad.
That's moving forward, challenge sa atin yun.
Yes.
Kasi if our goal is to create movements, I think napakahalagang pag-isipan natin yan. Okay, so we're down to our last 5 minutes. Siguro mga final words and then batiin natin yung ating mga kaproyekto. Sinong gustong mauna? At siguro si Manolo. Sino gusto magsara? Si Manolo o si Leo?
Manolo na lang.
Manolo magsara.
I'll start na kasi coming from where Manolo saying, yung phrase na yun, yung shared experiences. Napakalaking bagay niyan sa nation building sa proyekto. And when we're asking ano nangyayari ngayon, kung ba't nangyayaring ganito, and I always keep thinking of the small things, yung shared experiences na lumaki ako nung 90s. Andali kong magkaroon ng pads ng instant. Kuwari kami ni Harold doon nag-meet kami. Andali namin magkaroon ng instant connection kasi may mga shared experiences kami nung sang eskwela ka, anong public transportation sinakyan mo, anong music yung pinakinggan mo. These are very trivial, mundane things, but when you really look at it in our project, in building the Philippines, napakalaking bagay niyan kasi naalala ko yung parang analogy sa isang pare, Fads, may nagsabi sa akin, galit na galit siya pagka sinasana niya yung pinto ng simbahan pagka nagmimisa. Gusto niya laging nakabukas. Kasi sabi niya, pag nagmimisa tayo, gusto kong marinig ng tao lahat. Gusto kong lahat welcome. What we're celebrating here, I want everyone to celebrate as well. And ang daling mag-withdraw. Ang daling mag-withdraw into your little groups, into your walled subdivisions. Kasi minsan nga naiinis ka na eh. Pero anong mangyayari sa proyekto natin, di ba? Kung gano'n na lang, mag-withdraw lang tayo into our little cocoon. So once in a while, let's open it up and slowly and little by little magkaroon ulit tayo ng mga shared experiences. And I think that's such an important thing for our project.
Thank you, Carlo. Leloy, last
Ako,
one.
itong mga episodes na to, nangyayari to obviously, end of the year. At kadalasan, end of the year, nandito ako sa Pilipinas. At ang sarap talagang umuwi. Ang sarap umuwi sa pamilya, ang sarap umuwi sa mga proyekto at masarap makita yung pang-araw-araw ng Pilipinas. Pero syempre, pag umuwi ka, nakikita mo rin yung mga pang-araw-araw na problema. And yung ang huli natin diniscuss is yung problema ng traffic, yung problema ng poor urban management. And then at the same time, kung halimbawa ngayon, nasa BGC ako, makikita mo na may mga lugar na parang hindi na Pilipinas dahil naiiwasan nila yung marami sa mga problema ng Pilipinas. Hindi mo kailangan mag-traffic dito kung dito ka nagtatrabaho kasi maglalakad ka lang na maglalakad. So, ang daming intractable, ang daming, yung BGC is kind of my perfect symbol of what is changing and what is also intractable sa Pilipinas. It's changing kasi walang ganito sa Pilipinas 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Pero what's intractable, yung hindi nagbabago is the fact na itong lugar na to, kadalasan para sa mga konti lang, mahal dito, mahal kumain dito, mahal tumira dito. At and recently nabalitaan ko lang, para makarating sa BGC, may ibang tao dumaraan sa isang corridor called Butas. Nabanggit ni Harold yon yung Butas na galing ka sa Tembo, Sembo, ibang-ibang mundo, tapos biglang papasok ka sa BGC. So, yung Pilipinas, ang daling mahalin, pero ang dali ring magkaroon ng problema, ang dali ring magalit,
Madismaya.
madismaya, dali ring madismaya. At sa tingin ko, in the following year, ganun pa rin yung dynamic. Pagbalik ko this time next year, ganun pa rin yung dynamic. I'll feel similar things. But at the same time, parang at the end of the year, I'd want to celebrate yung things na, yung mga bagay na nagbibigay inspirasyon sa pang-araw-araw na Pilipino. At yun yung mga hopefully i-highlight natin sa Proyekto Pilipino.
Thank you, Leloy. Manolo?
Sa akin naman, baka natatandaan pa ninyo na halos lahat kami dito sa Proyekto Pilipino dahil sa kagandahang loob ni Fads, dumaan sa audition. Ang audition namin, yung Journeys of Hope ni Fads. May programa siya, hindi ba? But kung isipin nyo, napakaganda nun kasi yun ang parang pundasyon ng lahat ng gawain natin dito. It's part of it began with a journey of hope. And it became a project na ang sakop ng proyekto na ito, lahat tayo, mayaman ka man o mahirap, may pinag-aralan ka man o wala, nandito ka man lang sa Pilipinas o sa ibang bansa. The fact is, ano lang ang kailangan, ano ang requirements for participation? Willing kang makinig, willing kang mag-share. Di ba? Yun lang.
Yeah.
Hindi ka naman kailangan mag-agree. Yun lang. You just have to listen and you have to share. And sa tagal na ng panahon, and it's been a fairly long time by any standard, human standards, online standards, every standards, medyo matagal na ang Proyekto Pilipino. Meron na tayong archive, meron na tayong library, meron na tayong may papakita sa isa't isa. And I'm hoping na everyone who watches, i-share nyo yung mga ibang mga episodes na nagustuhan ninyo. Or go back to our previous episodes. Kasi yung may value pa rin sila. I did that the other day. And sabi ko, wow, parang hindi naman everlasting, but parang may enduring value din yung mga episodes natin. Sa akin, ang kakulangan pa rin namin, and sana matutulungan nyo kami dito, ay umanap pa rin ng mga paraan kung saan ang mga problema na parang walang solusyon ay mahanapan na natin ng paraan para gawing mas approachable and therefore mas doable. Nagawa na natin yun pagdating sa stunting, and nagawa na natin yun sa mga prutas na nabubulok, di ba? Yung mga vegetables na nabubulok. Magagawa rin natin ito sa larangan ng kaalaman at ng mga ideya. Na yun na lang ang kailangan natin gawin. We have to find a better way to transmit ideas and share them among each other para lahat tayo makikihimay dun sa mga pinipresenta ng iba. Yun na.
Thank you. Thank you, Carlo, Lelo, and Manolo. At siguro maraming dapat ayusin. Marami tayong dapat, we need to grow into a lot of things in the coming, and very hopeful we will, no? So sa lahat ng mga kaproyekto natin, 2 taon na tayo, no? Magto 2 years na tayo eh. So maraming
Wow.
salamat, and we promise you that next year we'll try to be better. So Happy New Year sa lahat, and again, remember, next year, this coming year, actually, sisimulan na, nung December 24, is the Jubilee Year of Hope. So sana makasabay tayo dun sa biyaya nyo. So ito po ang Proyekto Pilipino. Maraming salamat po at Happy New Year po sa lahat.